In the incredibly despicable way that only Republicans can, they are trying to politicize yet another tragedy in this recent hurricane that has since devastated families, houses, communities, whatever you want to call it, because to conservatives, Americans only matter insofar that they serve Donald Trump's electability. And I think that Jessica Tarlov pushes back against this really well. And I also have some context to share that will just destroy these disgusting talking points. So let's jump right in and then provide said context.
Starlink, there are 40 satellites that are already going. In Maui, by the way, the $700 was the FEMA limit. So Donald Trump and his supporters are running the same old tired playbook that they did with Maui and they did with East Palestine. So not only was Joe Biden on top of this, he signed the disaster declarations even before the storms hit to make sure that there would be no delay in goods and services. Donald Trump's social media posts contain blatant lies, like Governor Kemp can't reach the president. Governor Kemp gave a press conference yesterday where he said, I just spoke to the president. He has promised me every single thing that I need. McMaster from South Carolina, also a conservative, getting everything that he wants, and then Roy Cooper as well. And there's only one president that we are talking about who actually has denied relief for one of these states. In 2017, Roy Cooper asked after Hurricane Matthew for a lot of money, and he got 1% of his ask.
To me, this felt eerily akin to like school shootings, where Republicans like Trump will say things like, get over it, and instead go carry water for why there's no need for gun control actually, and then try to blame Democrats in one way or the other, rather than to show any actual empathy to those who are suffering. I mean, not only did Biden take preemptive measures before the storm to ensure that if it got bad as it did, that aid would get to these communities with no hesitation, but it's leagues further than what Trump has ever done in response to a disaster. And if you don't believe me, I mean, take it from the Republican governors themselves.
Florida, we have it handled. We got approved for the individual citizens, things we've wanted. We have what we need. Now, obviously, there may be additional things that we'll ask for in the future. It depends on how things shake out. But I think most of the effort should be in Western North Carolina right now.
I just spoke, the president just called me yesterday afternoon. I missed him and called him right back. And he just said, hey, what do you need? And I told him, we got what we need. We'll work through the federal process. He offered that if there's other things we need, just to call him directly, which I appreciate that. But
incredibly appreciative of the rapid response and the cooperation from the federal team at FEMA. I've been on the phone over the weekends with the senior FEMA administrator. The team has been deployed. We had our declaration of emergency processed in an expedited way over the weekend and was finalized yesterday.
I mean, wow, it's almost like Republicans are straight up lying. Who would have ever thought? Fox News is pushing propaganda and Trump is just willing to get in front of a camera and repeat those lies in the face of those who are suffering because he wants their votes. That's all that matters to him, is how can I use this to win some votes? It's sick, vile, and disgusting. And to Jessica's other point, Trump is the one, the only one who denies aid to states based on their political party or whether or not they're nice to him, refusing 99% of relief money to North Carolina after they were devastated by a hurricane similar to this in 2017, refusing to send aid to California, send them any relief funds after wildfires were destroying their communities and lands, and then going out of his way to block congressionally approved money for Puerto Rico after a hurricane. So it's almost like with conservatives, every accusation is a confession.
There are 3,300 FEMA personnel there, 5,500 National Guardsmen from 11 states, and search and rescue from 19 states. That doesn't reduce the devastation of this and how horrific it is, but to say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are out to lunch during this, or they're sitting on a beach reclining there, they are clearly giving them what they need. They will be showing up when it is appropriate. And it's different for Donald Trump, who is not in office. He's just a guy trying to be president again, to show up and throw some bounty at people, versus someone who's actually the commander in chief and doesn't want to distract from what's going on. And as Dana said, Governor Cooper said, I will let you know when it is appropriate for you to come. And same goes for Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah.
All of it.
And I will again stress the point that it is horrendously disgusting that MAGA would just try to yet frame another tragedy in political light with homes being destroyed, deaths happening, people missing, and they aren't speaking to any of these stories. They aren't showing empathy towards the destruction, the destroyed communities. It's just, well, oh, look, my preferred candidate is doing this and your candidate is sitting and doing nothing, which is in the face of all the aid that is actually being happened. I mean, it's just predicated on lies, but it also shows how far detached from reality MAGA is. They're so lost in the cult and in the tribalism that they now know as politics that every single thing to them is political and has to be made political. They did this with the Trump shootings. They do this with school shootings. They did this in East Palestine. They did this with Maui. Now they're doing this with these hurricanes. When these are lives being taken, these are tragedies, devastating circumstances being had in these communities, and the responses from the federal government are actually swift and to the point, something that should be commemorated by both sides as good work. But instead, it's just seen as partisan, like it's viewed through a partisan lens. It's like when Biden rescued American hostages and MAGA still couldn't say good work. It was just, well, how do we discredit this? How do we attack it? Oh, Putin this, Putin that. Like, at some point, people have to realize the desperate need to get these sycophants out of our political sphere and return to normalcy. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.